Hello, my friends. I want to talk to you about integration. When I say integration, I mean taking an experience in life and integrating it into our body. Specifically, psychedelic experiences, plant medicine, breath work. It can also expand into tantra, deep therapy, really anything that brings you into an altered state of consciousness and allows you to connect deeper with yourself. Often following these experiences, it can require integration, and I've been on this journey of integrating for a while now, and it can feel very lonely. And so my intention with creating these videos and the community that I'm calling in for it is so that we don't have to feel alone in the integration process, because this is where a lot of the work is, and it can be really hard to navigate alone. So I'm feeling really inspired to share this video today after an experience that I had last night. So my journey with integration is following about a 2-year period of my life where I did a lot of deep plant medicine work. I worked with psilocybin, ayahuasca, MDMA, 5-MeO-DMT. I worked with a lot of different plant medicine in facilitated settings, sometimes with shamans, but it was a lot compacted into 2 years. It was ceremonies almost every month, because I really felt drawn to doing this work. And what it did for me was it pulled up all of my trauma from the rejection that I faced in my family and in my communities growing up. Really my whole childhood from my communities, but then from my family when I was 13 and I came out as gay, and I just faced complete rejection from everyone in my reality at the time. And it was the most traumatizing moment of my life. And up until the time when I felt drawn to work with plant medicine, I was avoiding it. And I was in deep disassociation with it. But it was really affecting my life in ways I wasn't even aware of. And so these 2 years of work did a lot for me, but it really was a time for me to stop avoiding and face it. And then, of course, in the integration, that also is what was to follow. And integration, I've learned, is a lot about slowing down and feeling and honoring. I drew this the other day I wanted to share. This is a inner voice in me kindly saying to slow down, please. But the experience that I had yesterday involved facing a fear. It involved facing the fear that I'm afraid of community, of being seen, of putting myself in this space of receiving love from family, from other humans in a really deep and meaningful way, and being rejected again. And recently, I have been shown that I have used food for my whole life to cover up emotions. And recently, I have decided to honor myself by setting boundaries with food, specifically sugar. And yesterday was a really powerful moment of the integration journey for me, where I just felt really awful yesterday, and I really wanted to turn to food and sugar to cover up what I was feeling. And in choosing to honor myself and choosing to not cover it up, I got to the root of what I was feeling, which was loneliness. And of course it felt uncomfortable to feel lonely. It felt very sad to feel lonely. But it also was so powerful for me to acknowledge that I am human and that I feel loneliness, because I have spent the last 15 years convincing myself that I don't need anyone else, that I'm better off alone, because it's better off being alone than to risk letting people in and being rejected again. And so this was the first time when I have allowed myself to feel that loneliness, really feel it. And in feeling it and facing the fear of feeling lonely, I also, throughout the course of the day yesterday, faced my fear of reaching out to others to help with the loneliness, because food has never really done more than providing a quick fix to these feelings, and taking the initiative, action to face the fear and to give myself what I'm actually craving, which is community and human connection and intimacy, I know is the right thing to do. Along with slowing down, and I could really hear my body yesterday asking me to give myself softness. There was a moment when my mind, once I accepted the loneliness, wanted to fix. And so it was like, oh, okay, we'll go to this improv event that you've been going to. There's people there and, then you won't be lonely. But in the state I was in, I didn't feel it was, my heart didn't feel it was the right thing to do for me to drop myself into a space of people I don't know. And so I took some time, I meditated a little bit, and I felt my heart pulling me to go on a walk and to watch the sunset and to call some people. And so I called all of my family. No one was available. I called some friends. The first few people weren't available. And every time I went to reach out to someone new, I was met with this new layer of resistance, of fear, of doubt, of my mind doing what it has known to do for the past 15 years, which is protect me from reaching out and from being vulnerable and from putting myself in a place where I could potentially be rejected. And I faced that fear many times yesterday, and I finally was able to connect with a good friend of mine here on this side of the world with me. It was a simple conversation at first. It was just me sharing, I feel lonely. But what came from that was, first of all, I wasn't alone anymore. And then, pretty early on in the conversation, this friend shared with me that they feel the same way, and that they also feel the same connection with covering up loneliness with food. And so much wonderful support and love came from this conversation. But right there, not only was I not alone anymore, but I wasn't alone in my struggle anymore. Here is someone else telling me that they feel the same exact way and they relate the same exact way. And it was such a wonderful conversation. We talked for over an hour, and by the end of the conversation, I was in a completely different energy than the energy I was in all day yesterday. And so I share this story because I'm in the integration journey as well. This was a huge step for me in integrating, because what the plant medicine showed me is it showed me, the pain. It showed me, it brought to the surface for me to really acknowledge how painful it was for me to experience the rejection that I did in such a deep way. Part of the integration is facing that with softness and ease and slowing down and not forcing, but just allowing myself to take the steps to integrate myself back into community. And that's part of this too. My intention is to create community around this, because I don't want to feel alone anymore. And I know that I will sometimes, because that's loneliness is part of the human experience. And I also keep hearing Ram Dass saying, you don't need loneliness, for you couldn't possibly be alone. But so, I know that I'm not alone. I know that I have the whole universe inside of me, and so do you. But also, here in this human experience, we are community beings. We need community. We crave community. It's a natural human desire to want community. And I want it again. And I want it again. And I'm learning to face the fear through the integration journey of community, but all the while allowing it in. So slow down. Wherever you're at in your integration journey, allow yourself grace and compassion, ease. You can't do it all at once. We just hurt ourselves by trying to do it all at once. But allow yourself through this compassion, softness, and trust to receive strength that is already there, and courage. These qualities are within us, but not by forcing. They naturally rise to the surface, I feel, by slowing down and being patient and being kind with ourselves, because these things are tender, and yes, we are these powerful beings that, these altered state of consciousness have shown us that we are. And we also are human beings who have been on a journey, and we are rising out of the darkness, and it's okay to let ourselves rise slowly. So know that you're not alone in this, if you're watching this, if you're resonating with this, and know that there is community. I'm at the very beginning of this journey creating this, but what I have to offer for everyone, I have created an online integration support group that we meet the first Thursday of every month. I'll put the link to it down in the description. So the first Thursday of every month, I set aside 3 hours for us to come together and to share the highs, share the lows, share anything that we need to help us not feel alone. And in addition, every month I will be guiding us through a different process, a different tool to help us slow down, ground, and help us in our integration journey. There's a lot of tools I've gathered along the way. So that's something I have to offer to everyone. I mean, as long as you have a computer, phone, and internet, you can join. And then I also want to share that if you would like to take this even deeper, if you would like more personal one-on-one support, I am offering integration support. So essentially what this is similar to that integration support group. It's just personalized one-on-one. So I can work with you for a single session or up to 8 weeks in a row to really aid in helping you not feel alone in the integration process. Because again, that's what I felt for years doing this alone, and it's really hard. And I'm really grateful that I have always been able to connect with this bravery and this courage within me. It's something that's come very naturally to me. And so I have been able to navigate this. There were really challenging moments, but I've been able to navigate it and collect these tools along the way. And I know that it doesn't come that easily to everyone, this bravery to face this. I know a lot of us, and I've had moments of this too, we have these experiences with plant medicine, with altered states of consciousness, and then we go back to our normal lives and we can't face it, and we run away. And I don't say that to bring shame onto anyone. It's just to say, like, we're human, and it can be really hard to do it alone. And so if you feel called to have someone to help you through this, through part of it, because I'll be honest and say that I can't do the work for you, but I can help you get to a place where you feel within yourself that you can do it. on your own, knowing you're not alone. And so this one-on-one support is an opportunity for us to enter a safe container together, a space for me to listen to your story, to your reality, what you're facing, the highs and lows. And based on that, I will provide tools that I feel intuitively could help you on your integration journey. So I will also provide the information for the integration support down below. And know that I will be here on YouTube sharing what I feel called, my stories, my love and light, and that this community is here for you and you're not alone. So much love, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video.